I believe we're all searching for love. In some way, shape, or form, that is the sum of what we're looking for. Just us trying to be a better person and level up, that ties into us wanting to show love to ourselves and to others around us. And in the Bible, it says that God is love. So, because God is love, his essence is love, I believe we're all just trying to seek him. Take someone who desires a lot of money, for example. Their rooted motivations could be that they desire security, they desire freedom, they desire self-worth, and those are all things that God gives us. A lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too, we search for worldly things to satisfy some of our deepest desires in our hearts, desires that only God can satisfy. But the things of this world are all temporary. Everything that you see will all fade away one day, but God's love will remain forever. So in this video, I'll be sharing my 7 tips on how I grew this relationship with God and how I grew so close to him. So let's start. I have my notes right here. So my first tip is to come to him as you are. God will meet you wherever you are. Don't try to fix yourself or become perfect before you come to him. It's like, for example, you saying, oh, once I get rid of my lustful thoughts and actions, then I'll work on my relationship with God. But then God's like, okay, so what about the other 10 million sins that you do on a regular basis? Are you gonna wait till you get rid of all those too and then come to me? No, you just come to him as you are. That builds true relationship with God. Only then will you see his true character, his unconditional love, his endless mercies and forgiveness. As we get closer in our relationship with God, you'll start to notice a lot of the sins that you used to struggle with just naturally start to fall off. The things that you used to do without any guilt will start to feel uncomfortable when you do it. My second tip is to talk to him every day throughout the day. Some people have a misconception that talking to God requires you to sound super proper, to be, kneeling at your bed and sounding like, oh, thou art the grandest, none compared to thee. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, if you want to pray like that, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be that way. Of course, I do kneel on occasion by my bedside to pray, to show like respect to his reverence. But my relationship with God grew mostly me talking to him just like this. Like if I was talking to my actual father, a parent, I would talk to him in the shower. I would talk to him in the car, at work. I would talk to him in bed, while I'm cooking, cleaning. I would talk to him out loud or in my head if I was surrounded by other people. Sorry guys, I had to get a microphone because it's kind of loud in my house. Um, but like I was saying, you can talk to God like you would talk to your parent or your friend because he is your father and he is your friend. When you talk to him, it doesn't have to sound super proper. You can talk to him and have, a casual conversation with him. My third tip would be to bring all your cares to him, big or small. Come to him with a genuine heart. Don't try to hide your feelings or your thoughts from him because he sees all and knows all anyways. And that's just prolonging when you'll receive your breakthrough. Allow yourself to express any emotion you're feeling while praying. Maybe you're even mad at God. You can express those feelings to Him while praying because He wants to alleviate you. Allow Him to move into your heart. There's this one verse that says, I wait at the door and I knock. He's waiting for you to open the door for Him and let Him into your heart. Surrender your heart to Him. Talk to Him about any and everything. The things that are bothering you, the things that are troubling your mind. Let's say someone upset you. You can come to God. For example, you come to God and you go into detail about why this person upset you. And then there's your opportunity to ask God to bring you peace in that situation. Or maybe you come to Him and you talk to God about all the little happy moments, all the little moments where you were excited throughout the day. And there's your opportunity to thank God for those little moments. When you talk to Him about the bad, make sure you find time to thank Him for the good as well. And if you can't think of anything good to thank God for, I would say you can pray and ask God to have Him remove the blindfold that's keeping you from seeing the good in your life. We all know that nobody's perfect, but maybe you're having a hard time seeing your bad habits or toxic traits. You can then ask God to show you where you're falling short, and He'll slowly and gradually reveal to you the different aspects in which you can improve. So, see, it's so important to come to Him with any and every little thing and the big things, because that just leaves the door open for Him to come in and fix what you can't fix on your own. And that leads me into tip number 4, which is invite Him into every area of your life. God should not be compartmentalized into one section of life, but rather He should be the source to every section of life. A relationship with God is not a part-time thing where, we have to try to fit Him into our schedule. Our life should revolve around Him, and He should be the center of our lives. When God is the center of everything, everything else just falls into place. Consult with God before making any big decisions. That could be in health, in relationships, in business, whatever. Consult with Him before making any big time decisions. God is the source, the protector, the provider, the healer, the teacher, the everything. So we should invite Him into everything. And when we do, everything works out together and for the better. My 5th tip is after praying, expect a response and let go of the prayer. We shouldn't pray about something and then still have it be a worry in our head and overthink it and oh, is this gonna happen? Is God gonna answer my prayer? Oh, what if He doesn't? Like, we should just pray and then let go of the prayer and expect a response. Understand that we normally do this out of fear, but God has told us over and over again in His Word not to fear, and He's repeatedly told us and called us to have faith. So pray about it, let it go, and expect a response. And God will respond in any way He wants to respond. He could respond through a stranger. He could respond through, your pastor, maybe a friend, maybe through a book or a song or a movie. Like, He could respond to you in so many different ways. So make sure you're open to receiving your response from anyone and anything. My 6th tip is to read the Bible. God will always respond with what He's already said in the Bible. Even if you got your response from a minister on YouTube, a book that you bought from Barnes& and Noble, a commercial, whatever was said, if you believe that it was a response from God, I guarantee you it can be backed up. Whatever was said can be backed up in the Bible, because God will always respond with what he's already said. Tip number 7 is find a church that feels right for you. We all need a spiritual leader that can guide us closer to God, and a congregation that can offer support and where you can connect with like-minded people. Personally, I didn't start going to church again until later on in my journey with God. Um, but I was lucky enough to have not only a pastor who is the pastor from the church that I went to growing up, but I also had two uncles that are pastors who I would call with any questions or concerns, especially in the beginning stage of my walk with God. In the Bible, God says, "Many will say to me in that day," the day of judgment, "Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works?" And then I will profess unto them, "I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." What God is trying to say is that these people never had a relationship with him, and they just used his name to perform miracles, which doesn't really mean much because it's not really them that's performing the miracles. It's God. God is just doing the miracles through them. So they did good works, but they never surrendered their heart to God, which is what God cares about the most. There is a difference in doing good works just to look good and doing good works as a result of surrendering your heart to God, because then it's actually genuine. It's coming from a place of love and not for clout. When we surrender our hearts, God transforms it. God transforms our hearts. So then we're able to do good works from a place of love. Because God knows it's possible to do fake good works. Some examples of that could be you giving to charity, but deep down you really only did it to tell everybody and to get clout from it. Or buying a homeless person food and then afterwards complaining about it and saying things like, "Oh, I just spent my hard-earned money on this bum." What's the point of doing something good if you're not doing it with love, if it's not genuine? It's like when God said in the Bible, "What's the point of having such great faith that you can move mountains if you don't have love?" A relationship with God is so important, and it truly is the foundation of everything else in our lives. And my life has changed so drastically from when I started my walk with him till now. My life has changed so much. In my next video, I'll be sharing differences that I've experienced living life without God and living life with God. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you found my tips helpful, let me know in the comments down below. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any new videos that drop. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.